All right, welcome everyone to the Activities Chairperson debate session. So, apologies for the delay because we're facing some technical issues here. So, uh, right, yeah, thank you for waiting, and let's dive into the debate. Okay, so we have Narain and Mengya as our Activities Chairperson candidates here, as well as the Rachel, the OB of for activities chairperson. So please mind that please mute your mic if you're not speaking. Thank you. So without further ado, let's look at the itinerary for this debate session. All right, so now we're at the introduction part. So later on, we'll move on to the opening statement, which is 5 minutes, and also forward to the Q&A session from the office bearers. And after that, we'll move on to a Q&A session from the students. So for the audience, please do drop in any question you have for the candidates, and it will be asked in the Q&A session later. And this debate session will end by a closing statement, which is 2.5 minutes. So yeah, without any further ado, we'll move on to the opening statement from Narain and Menya. So the floor is yours, and you have 5 minutes.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon, fellow Monashians. I'm Nirain.
And I'm Mingya.
We're the candidates for the Activities Chairperson's position from the Party Igniters. Um, with our combined experience in planning events, we can't wait to serve the Monash Malaysia community with interactive, engaging events to enrich their university lives. We have many initiatives planned for 2022, such as Monash Carnival, which is a food bazaar coupled with many performances as well as fun games, like a bouncy castle, a mechanical bull machine, and perhaps even a dunk tank. We're also aiming to host an offline version of Monash Got Talent, which is one of our grander events hosted here at Monash. Another event that we plan on organizing is the Holy Run, which is a collaboration with MUIS. It's basically a color run in conjunction with the Holy Festival. Another thing that we hoped to plan is the orientation bashes, of course, provided everything is on campus. Um, while we know that a lot of the previous intakes have missed out on this opportunity for starting from the 2020 February intake, so we will be extending an invitation to these previous intakes so they get to feel a sense of on-campus orientation. Another event that we are very excited to that we will be planning is the Monash Ball, of course. We will also be extending an invite to the graduated students via the MUSA official page. If they are interested in joining, they can just DM the page and we will send them the details accordingly. Um, Another very exciting event that we are also planning on debuting is the Monash Music Festival. It's still in the works, however, if everything goes according to plan, it should debut in December of 2022, also subject to the COVID situation at the time. Lastly, of course, we will continue with our MUSA Buddy program from this year, as it has allowed many students to build friendships over these sessions, and they get to engage with different people from different schools, of course. Our goal here is to create an avenue for students to participate in our events, but they get to, I guess, learn from the experience and strive to be better. It also could be a stepping stone for some of them to recognize what they're truly passionate about.
And we're also recognizing the harsh reality that we are not in control of the current COVID situation. However, we're very adaptable and are more than ready to take on yet another online initiative. It will still be our top priority to provide the students with fun and inclusive events that thrills them, which we hope will instill a sense of unity amongst the students and potentially build some long-life friendships. Another thing that we're taking into considerations is the possibility of budget cuts. And our solution to this would be to encourage more collaborations between the other MUSA departments, because not only will this lighten the budget load, we also get to cater for a larger audience and students will feel more included. We want the best for the students and we will find a solution to carry out the events that our students expect us to have. We also strive to obtain sponsorships from external parties in the future to ease our budget situation. And as mentioned in our election guide, we are firm believers in an open door policy and are more than willing to take suggestions from the students. And just think, you'll be contributing towards something meaningful. Being in a team will definitely expand your exposure to what the real world is like, especially when liaising with different types of organizations outside of Monash. Our aim is to allow our members to share their ideas, learn what teamwork is all about, and strive for execution. It takes an entire team to make the events grander than ever, and we love it when our members feel included as well.
Um, Another issue that we've taken into consideration is obviously the issue with social distancing and big crowds with the larger scale events. Our plan is basically to ensure that the necessary steps are taken to prevent the spread of COVID-19. We will definitely enforce this greatly during our big events because we don't want any misfortune inflicted on anyone at Monash, as we do care about the safety and well-being of the students, of course. We'll also be giving priority to those that are fully vaccinated for these events. Unless the students who are not vaccinated have specific comorbidities, then we will adjust the restrictions accordingly. This measure is very crucial in order for us to suppress the spread of COVID-19. And as you all know, actions do speak louder than words. We will strive to deliver the best on-campus experience or online experience for our students and for them to leave with unforgettable memories that they can never replace. All we want for the students is for them to have a fun experience in Monash, and we have many more activities that await you guys, so look for us. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the opening statement from both of the candidates. So now we'll move on to the Q&A session by the office bearers. Please take note that the candidates are allowed for 1 minute discussion time if needed. The floor is yours, Rachel.
All right, thank you. So my first question is that I believe your manifesto mentioned that you encourage more collaboration within other departments next year. Actually, according to this year, most departments prefer planning on their own instead of collaborating. As it is actually a communication hassle, especially when we are online. So how would you be able to live up to this promise?
Hi. So right now, I'd say collaborations are very appealing to all the office bearers right now, especially to ease the budget load. And since next year will be online, the cost of events will definitely increase significantly. So the idea of a collaboration to ease the budget load, there's already a very large incentive there as it is. And obviously coupled with the satisfaction of planning a successful events, I'd say collaborations will be abundant in MUSA 2022.
Okay, thank you. So my next question is, what would you do if you create an event based on your personal interest, but majority of the students is not very keen in joining because they do not feel the same interest as you? What is your approach to this?
Hi. Okay, so we obviously, the planning starts with the whole department as one, so including our subcommittee members. So I'd say that the subcoms would act as our focus group per se. So whatever ideas we bring to them, they would act as I guess, the view of the students before the event goes into like the further planning stages. So they will point out all the different points of view because I'm sure everyone has got a different point of view, obviously. So they will give us like the pros and cons and I guess, align their different interests. And from there, we will adjust the event accordingly or eliminate the event if there's obviously no interest in it whatsoever.
Okay, thank you. Just to follow up with that, I would also like to know how would you integrate most or all of the ideas that are suggested by the team or even the students itself? How would you integrate it in your events?
Hi, thank you for your question. To make sure that this event will work out, we will first ensure that we get the votes or feedbacks from our subcommittee, and from that, from previous events, we will always get feedbacks from them as well, so to see where we can improve and have better events planned for them in the future, as well as also having Google Forum if possible, or if the feedbacks we feel they're lacking a bit more insights or opinions. So we will take the Google Form into consideration as well to make sure all students' voices are heard and their feedbacks are appreciated as well.
And just to add to that, this feedback form will be constantly pushed around all year long, not just at the beginning of our term, because Monash students tend to be rather shy, so they need constant, I guess, little nudges, little push to get them to contribute.
Can I add to that as well? As you already know that we already have a feedback form from Vice President, and you also want to encourage this as well. So would it be different from the Vice President's feedback form, or is this mostly your individual feedback so you can improve your events?
I'd say, I guess this would be definitely more curated towards the events in mind, because we're the Activities Department, and the Vice President's feedback form is great and all, but I think we would rather have our own form, which will be more tailor-made towards creating events for the students. So we'll have, I guess it'll give us a better insight on things. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. So my next question is that basically, I think I direct it to Nirain first. So as you are actually the current office bearer for activities in 2020, so what are some of the key changes that you would like to make as an office bearer next year?
Okay, so as you know, so main thing I'd say is we want to give a more, I wouldn't say diverse, but a wider range of events. So not just online, but offline. So as you know that Monash recently, I think yesterday, sent out an email stating that students will I think only the students with labs get to start returning in October. And with the high vaccination rates, this proves that the February intake of 2022 will highly likely be a hybrid campus. So one change I would really like to make is to cater for both sides. I'd say I want to not just do on-campus events, but I wouldn't say give the equal amount of effort into online events, because as we know, the past 2 years have proven that students are not as inclined to attend online events. The participation rates are very low. So we will definitely channel most of our resources into offline initiatives, but we will definitely, I guess, couple it together with some online initiatives, so it wouldn't just be targeted to one area. So I think that's one initiative that I would like to bring forth to MUSA 2022, the Activities Department. Off the top of my head, that's what I've got so far.
All right, thank you so much. To follow up to that, I'm so sorry, I have so many follow-up questions. So as you mentioned, that is low participation rate, and you also want to cater to international students as well, because it's online and it might be hybrid. So as you know that online you don't really have a lot of participation, and how do you encourage people to come for events if the participation is low on online events, and also how you cater to the offline as well?
Okay, so I think I can answer the second part of that first. So offline, I think I can say with more confidence that it'll be rather easy to get the participation rates up, because it's been 2 years and a lot of students have been starved of this opportunity to attend, on-campus events. They've forgone that experience. So off-campus will not be an issue whatsoever. However, online, there isn't really a way we can't force the students to attend the events, because we can't do that. So we will definitely have to, I'd say, push more I'd say events that are very widely targeted, I'd say it needs to be less specific, if it's just like simple fun events. So one initiative that I think that can be planned both online and offline that Mingya and I have come up with is so one is a virtual escape room, which I think you guys know what the escape room is. I think there's one in Sunway Pyramid. So like that, but I guess maybe a virtual version where we will utilize the breakout rooms in Zoom, if at all it's online. And if it's on campus, of course, we could use like the different locations on campus to stimulate the breakout room. And there's also a new initiative that Mingya wants to bring forward called Pandemic Palace.
Yeah, it's basically like a pen pal event where we bring back the old school way of communicating, such as through emails. So this will really be suitable for a lot of students because they can send emails online, make friends online, and the progress and all for these events is still in the works. So basically, if they want to make this an offline event as well, only they can do is like send small parcels or maybe anything that describes themselves, like anything that when you see in the box, right, it's like, oh, this is the person I'm talking to. So it kind of brings like that how to say, they get to like communicate in a way that it's different from the other previous events, I think, and it's also a new way for both offline and online events. So it really caters to both the sectors.
Okay, very interesting. I love it actually. Actually, this is going to be directed to Mania. As your focus is towards offline events, right? I think in your speech just now as well, you mentioned a lot of offline events that you want to take the opportunity to organize. So why do you think this is actually the job for you if you have actually not planned any physical events before, and you might actually face that issue next year if you do return to campus? So yeah.
Okay, so before being a part of, because I'm actually a part of activities subcommittee now, but like prior to this, I actually helped with planning events in my high school. Maybe not like planning, but I did like a small media role in helping with the backstage stuff, which is very important when planning, because it's like the foundation of planning an event. So the backstage experience as well as the other experience that I got from the past events in my high school had really taught me some insights and also helped me a lot in this in like planning activities as well. And due to my lack of experience in like some parts, or like maybe I need to gain more experience, I'll definitely ask our current office bearer, which is Rachel, and maybe the help of our 2021 president, since he was part of Activities Chairperson as well. And also, I will obviously ask my partner here anyway, because he's very experienced, right? So if anything, I'll ask. I'm not shy from that. Or within the internal subcommittee as well, I'm also like always asking questions, always volunteering. So I think that is like gonna help me and gonna help me to plan more events in the future. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. So good to hear that you might come from me for help, I guess. Okay. Yeah. Other than, I think as an office bearer as well, instead of just planning activities, you have a huge responsibility to voice out to students as well. So how can you contribute in that sense as an office bearer to the Monash society?
I feel like as an office bearer in the future, if I get the role, I think in terms of events, I will contribute ideas as well as other insights if that's needed, and also the responsibility of the office bearer is also taking into considerations the feedback that your subcommittee might have, or any problems or issues that is arising from our subcommittee. So as office bearer, Niren and I will definitely look into the issues as well as finding out the problems and hoping to solve that as well, to ensure that the communication, there's no miscommunication, and to ensure that all our events will run smoothly, starting from our side, which is the Activities Chairpersons department.
Okay. I mean, other than just being events based, though, like I feel as an office bearer, you have like much more responsibility than activities itself. Like maybe someone can come for you for help, and you refer them to someone that is in other departments. So in that way, what kind of approach you can, and like what kind of approach can you tell the audience today? Like maybe on how would you be a good office bearer to them, and how can they trust you as being activities or even just an office bearer in MUSA itself?
The other contribution as an office bearer would be that I'm a very open person. Like I can take, I will want to like at first from the subcommittee side or the student side, I would like get feedbacks first. And although in my contribution, I would be like more than happy to receive feedbacks in any form, be it like negative feedback or whatnot. So being an open-minded person as I am, I'm more than willing to take in all these insights and feedbacks. And also, I'm also. Do you help me with that?
I'm so okay. Judging from working with Megan in the past year, I'd say that she's a very in the sense that like anyone can come and talk to her, so it's not someone you don't think twice, when you're talking to her. Like you immediately let your guard down, you let down the barriers, and you can just be who you are in that sense. So I think that would play a very big part, especially with the subcommittee, because they can come to us with anything, and we would be more than happy to take it into consideration. Same goes for the students. We would be more than happy to help them or take whatever ideas, I guess, if at all that's the way you want to go with, into consideration. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think I just have one last question. I think in any organization, and you have conflicts within other departments, and you do have internal politics. I'm just going to play it out straight out here. You have internal politics. So even then, how do you still ensure the sense of the standard level of professionalism in the organization itself?
So one thing I think that's very important, which I think yourself and I have taken it that have made very evident this year, was that we never let our subcommittee become a part of any of the internal issues or politics that happen in MUSA. We've always kept them, I'd say, unbiased in that sense. So there's no conflict between MUSA and any of our subcommittee. And as for me and Ming as office bearers, I'd say that we will, I guess we have to. I mean, when you're working in an organization, you have to put your ego aside. Okay, it's not your show. You're working for the people, for the students. Okay, you have to set your ego aside and act accordingly. It doesn't. If it has to be said, it has to be said. If it has to be done, it has to be done. If you're in the wrong, just admit you're in the wrong and move on. There's no point harping on little fights between the office bearers. It gets you nowhere. We have learned this year very well. Yeah.
And also to add on, running for this candidate means that we're also ready to take the responsibilities as the activities chairperson. So we will maintain our professionalism in this role to ensure that we give our best and to ensure that there's like less issue. Because if you're professional, then and objective and unbiased, like what Nira mentioned, then it's believed that we'll run things like smoothly, like this professionalism.
Okay, I think that's my last question. That's all.
All right. Thank you, Rachel, for the questions, and also thank you, the candidates for answering. So we have some questions from the audience. All right. So from Garon. So, is there any additional event initiative that will be brought out during 2022? So, maybe you could further elaborate on this.
Hi, Garon. Thank you for your question. As we mentioned in our candidate speech, the initiatives that we will be obviously bringing back. So, for example, the orientation bashes Monash Ball. Another thing, like you mentioned, we plan on bringing the music festival, which I think was last planned in 2018 or 2019, if my memory serves me right. We plan on doing that in December this year. December next year, provided the situation improves. And as you mentioned, the pandemic pals that Ming has got planned, the escape room thing, and of course, the MUSA Buddy program runs from week 1 to week 11 every semester. So that will be ongoing, and we are always coming up with new stuff. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
All right, thank you for the answer. Garon, you may ask for more clarification if you need. Just drop down in the questions. Drop down in the comment section below. Okay. All right. The next question is from Mikey. So MUSA 2020 did a virtual orientation night through YouTube Live instead of Zoom. So I personally think it's more accessible to the new students. So do you have any plans to do something similar?
Hi, Mikey. Thanks for your question. So, as you know, that if at all the situation is similar to what it was this year, we plan on organizing the Freshies Night. So that if at all it's on campus, we would definitely have an on-campus thing. And I guess maybe we will figure out a way to live stream the event, so students that opt not to attend due to whatever reason, they get to live stream it from the comfort of their rooms to feel a part of the event in some sense. So yeah, that is definitely something that we are open to. And of course, if at all, God forbid, next year is online, we will definitely. This is something definitely absolutely worth considering. Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you for the answer. So, in the meanwhile, for the audience, if you have any more questions, please feel free to drop it down in the comment section below. Okay. Next question is by Mikey as well. You guys mentioned about budget cuts. So, what would be the one event that each of you would prioritize if the resources are limited, especially for on-campus events?
Hi, Mikey. Thanks for your question again. So the events that we will definitely organize, will definitely be the 3 orientation bashes that would be a requirement, obviously. The 2 MUSA days or a MUSA aligned event, and of course the Monash Ball. So priority would definitely be given to the orientation bashes and the MUSA days. And if at all we have access funds, we will definitely try our level best to give the students the Monash Ball, the grand ball that everyone can't wait to attend. Yeah, in that order, I'd say. Of course, if at all there are additional funds, we would plan some of the other initiatives that we have planned, depending on the budget situation, of course.
All right. Manga, would you add on this?
And for the budget cut issues, we're also looking at sponsorships to help sponsor or just give a little bit of hope in our event. And by doing so, we will get to not only increase their product like advertisement, but we'll also get to have enough budget to work with our events as sponsorships are really, really important to us as well, but also we will try to maintain on what we can with the given budget. And also, I think collaborations with other departments as well will also help with the budget cuts as I think they'll be more thrilled to work with the activities department to, make events for students to feel included, and it'll be a really exciting one to include everyone because in this like unity, so everyone will feel a part of being in Monash University in Malaysia.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Let's go to the next question from Garan. While activities chairpersons are part of the activities advisory committee, what will you do in the committee during 2022 to promote the MUSA activities to the Monash?
Hi, Garon again. Thank you for your question. The first thing that we plan on doing to promote, I guess, our events after consulting the AAC board would be to get the different schools as well as different clubs to help promote our events. Because as you know, MUSA Activities does not have an Instagram page. We are solely reliant on MUSA official's Instagram page. So we will definitely be reaching out to different schools and clubs because they have their Discord servers, WhatsApp, and Telegram groups. So I think this would definitely significantly boost attendance by promoting the events to, I guess, every different crowds here at Monash. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Right. Okay. Next is do you think students or newcomers deserve more bonding events? And will you elaborate more on your ideas, if any? Specifically referring to bonding events.
Hi, thank you for your question. And for this one, right, for the bonding session, it's mostly focused to at the activities sub-department known as the MUSA Buddies program, where they create events that it's more focused on to bonding sessions and all those stuff. And it's really important for like new students as well as the current students, because I think bonding they don't really take into account whether you're a new student or old student. Everyone needs bonding time, right? Everyone needs friends to stay sane in this pandemic. So I think the bonding session will be focusing on both the current as well as the new students as well, and we will push more initiatives to ensure that newer students will be able to join and they won't shy away from this bonding session as it's a very fun session.
Just to add to that, and since this program has like officially become a sub-department under us in 2021, we have had plenty. We've had actually we've met different people that have actually congratulated us on the launch of this program, thanks to Rachel actually, she created this program and launched it herself. That they have met most of their friends all through this program itself. So I'd say it's a very successful initiative, I'd say. So yeah, bonding sessions would definitely be targeted towards the buddy program. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for answering. So we have another question from Mikey. If Monash does move to hybrid learning, so some students going to be online and some will be on campus, how will you ensure that you can cater to both sides? Especially since the work to handle online and on-campus activities will increase, and considering that your subcommunity team size would stay the same.
Hi, Mikey. Thanks for your question again. As we mentioned in our speech, we do have quite a few initiatives that are planned ready for both online and offline. And if you say it'll be a hybrid situation, so given that our subcommittee will stay the same, so assuming it's 15 people, including me and Mingya, so that'll be 17. So I think with this amount, we would definitely be able to plan both on campus and online events. So obviously, I don't think they will be able to occur simultaneously, unless the event is live streamed to the online for the people that are tuning in online. So we would probably, for example, like we mentioned, the pandemic pals. It's something. It could be. It's interchangeable. I'd say. So you could do a online version where you could just email each other, or if at all you want a more like real experience, you could, I guess, write letters, and the activities department, we would subsidize the postage and stuff like that. Um, the virtual escape room, where it could be either on campus where we would utilize Monash, the rooms here in Monash, or online where we would utilize Zoom and the different breakout rooms, and you do the challenges and then you get through it. Yeah, so I'd say that despite having, 17 people in the department, we would definitely be able to make this work. No issue. Thank you.
Okay, so uh, I think we have a one last question from the audience, but in the meantime, for the audience, please drop in any questions you have for the candidate. So this is from Garan. So will you allow subcommittees to initiate new event upon team agreement? So and how will you work on this?
So from my experience as being the activity subcommittee, yes, they do actually take the subcommittee's ideas and what insights?
Yeah.
Insights into consideration. So for example, if one of the subcommittee hosts has an idea such as the cooking show, then as activities chairperson, we will give them enough credits for it, and we'll allow them to plan like the details because it's their idea. So we both personally think they know what's best for the event, and also after that, if let's say there's a lot of people, our committee, there's a lot of them like having events ideas at the same time, we will put them into a vote, like a voting system on WhatsApp or just like anywhere else where you can vote. And then the event or idea with the most vote will be used. Then we will credit the person who gave the idea and allow them to plan it as well. So we really take the the subcommittee into consideration because they are part of this activities chairperson department. So yeah, their ideas are also very valuable as well to us.
All right. Thank you for answering. But right now it seems like there's no any new questions coming in. So at the meantime, for Office Bearer, do you have any question to follow up?
Um, I think no.
All
I think
right.
the answer very well, so I have no questions.
Okay. Then uh, just to give some moment for your audience to drop in their questions. Um, so today I'd like to brief you guys. There still have uh 3 debate sessions from 5:30 p.m. onwards in Malaysia time, and we'll have General Secretary, Vice President, and the finale president. So make sure the audience, you guys can take a look as well. Okay, so it seems like there's no any new questions coming in. Then we can move on to the closing statement. But for the audience, if you do have any further questions, you can visit the official MUSA Instagram page and comment down below the KYC series, and the candidates will answer it there. Yeah, or you can contact the candidates. All right, then yeah, we can move on to the closing statement. And for candidates, you have 2.5 minutes.
Thank
Okay, thank you, Stella. So for a closing statement, Noreen and I are very appreciative to be given the opportunity to be giving our speeches today, and also the office bearer, Rachel, for her time for this debate, as well as the audiences for their amazing questions. So regardless of what could happen in 2022, we will not stop serving the students, as this is our main priority as activities chairpersons. And we want our students to have this experience before they graduate and leave Monash to join the workforce. So therefore, we urge you to make the right decision so that everyone can have a joyous university life. Thank you.
Vote for us.
Yay.
Thank you so much. Thank you for really strong closing statement. Okay. Um, yeah. So this comes to an end for this debate session, and just for a reminder, the next debate session will be at 5:30 p.m. Malaysia time for General Secretary candidates. So for our audience, make sure you watch the debate also. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you and take care.